Welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody to the April 15th meeting of the Milford Planning and Zoning Board. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sue, if you would please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi.
Present.
Mr. Allen.
Present.
Mr. Anderson.
Present.
Mr. Hirsch.
Here.
Mr. Collegian.
Present.
Mr. Macchio. Mr. Mortimer.
Present.
Mr. Sadi.
Present.
Mr. Zaharidis.
Present.
Chairman Quish.
I am here. No, you don't have to do it, but are we going to postpone? Is that your request? Check the plug first. There you go.
I remember in high school they had the audio tech guys, so I'm tonight's audio tech guy. So, Mr. Chairman, just for the record, Thomas Lynch, we were going to present to you item number 4, I think, of tonight's agenda, the second public hearing. David brought to my attention that there's allegedly a notice error that was in the legal notice that was put on the website. So to avoid any question of whether that was correct or not, what we're going to do is postpone the hearing from tonight to the next meeting, May 6th. The theory was we were going to present the application for a zone regulation change tonight, and if that was approved, we were going to present our special permit application on the 6th. So after speaking with David, we're going to do both of them on the 6th.
Very good. So your request is to postpone until the next meeting?
Correct.
And without objection, that'll be postponed. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So the regulation change 25-1 will not be heard tonight. So if people are here waiting to participate in that public hearing, you come back next meeting. Our first order of business tonight is New Haven Avenue and Shipyard Lane approval pursuant to CGS Section 8-24 for Phase 2 capital improvement at Founders Walk. We do have somebody to represent the application.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Don Smith, the project engineer, will touch on the 8-24. I just wanted to give a brief update of... I'm sorry, I'm James Maroney, State Senator for Milford, 10 Grove Street. So Don will be up there to answer questions and speak specifically to the 8-24. I just wanted to give a brief overview of where the project stands before he does so. I know
Sure.
You guys probably weren't there.
You're welcome to.
Thank you. Okay, and so we'll just, from the beginning, okay? So just to go through a brief history of the project, the idea was first floated in 1999. Alan Plattis had talked about it in the, when they were doing different charrettes, and it's been included in the Plan of Conservation and Development now since then, including, I think most recently, it was part of the October 2023 Plan of Conservation and Development. Phase 1 was accomplished with state bonding money in 2014, where we took the abandoned road and made that what the existing Founders Walk. In 2022, June 6th of 2022, Phase 2 was unanimously voted on by the Milford Board of Aldermen when they approved the project, authorized the the project to go forward, as well as accepting the state bonding money. August 1st of 2022, Mayor Blake announced the Founders Walk Steering Committee, which is myself, Connie Gaynor, and Rich Jago. And between 2022 and 2024, the steering committee held over 8 meetings, including 2 public feedback sessions at the Milford Public Library. This was, the design concept was actually in 2014. We got state bonding money to build what you see down there now, but we also applied to the realtors for a grant of $10,000 to develop a plan for the overall area. And that's what we used to secure the additional bonding money later on. And this is the picture of the project as it was voted on by the Board of Aldermen in 2022. It was a concept drawing. This project has always been about safety. According to the 2012 Plan of Conservation and Development, the design of the area is haphazard, confusing, and potentially unsafe. From 2020 to 2025, I did reach out to the police department to see if they had any accident statistics. There were only 4 reported accidents in that time, but there are a number of near misses that wouldn't be reported. In fact, we're going to go through some of the emails I've received from librarians, but the librarians say they receive regular safety complaints. And in fact, because of that, Chris Angeli, the former Milford librarian, participated in all of the Founders Walk Committee meetings up to her retirement and asked, we are keeping Scott apprised as well of developments in the project. And just from some of the meetings or emails they've received, if people take the ramp coming across Hotchkiss Bridge, they have to walk in the road in order to join back with Founders Walk or to go to the library. Someone using a walker or chair has to go all the way past where the digital sign is just to get back onto the sidewalk. This puts them in the path of cars, making a nearly 90-degree turn to drive towards the water and creates a dangerous blind spot. So the red arrow shows where if you were handicapped, you would have to go down and get into the road in order to go back towards the library, and there's no sidewalk or safe passage from there back to the library. So improving the transition off of the footbridge, the resulting road will be clearly marked, and the signs will help keep everyone safer. This is actually a confusing area. After I read this email, I myself was driving through there and realized when you're coming out of where the baseball fields are, you aren't necessarily sure who has the right of way and that you're joining in to an active road. But one of the more dangerous sections is where the road goes between the traffic island and the main parking area. There have been multiple close calls with people backing out of parking spaces into the road while cars are coming at them from 2 directions, down the hill and around the corner from the marina. So rerouting the road around the parking lot with clearly marked signs and safety measures eliminates that existing traffic island hazard. The road through the parking lot is an actual street, making it more active and dangerous, and you can see those cars back right onto the street. There's no space between the active street and the back of those parked cars. There's not currently adequate space for cars to pull in and out of parking spaces without interfering with the road. Cars much larger than the sedan stick out into the road when parked, and cars on the road have to swerve to avoid them. So again, adequately sizing the parking lot and rerouting the road will help to improve the safety of the area. Additional safety improvements, 1,700 square feet or 1,700 linear feet of new sidewalks, 6 crosswalks in the project. Actually, that number is incorrect. In the full project, there are 7 crosswalks, not 6. Currently, the sidewalk around the pavilion needs to be repaired. That will be repaired. Update the traffic flow, adding a new book drop by the library. So cars will be able to, you'll be able to drop off books from a car so you won't have to stop and take up a parking spot again. That will hopefully improve the safety. A new fire hydrant closer to the boat ramp, 240 parking spaces, and there are a number of traffic calming measures that we'll go over, but they include narrowing the road, adding smarter traffic islands, and then just last night, we received approval from the Traffic Commission to add in, because it's not recommended to do speed bumps in the area because of the boats on trailers. It would not be good. But Don, our project engineer, has really solved a lot of these problems, and he saw in Oxford where they used a cobblestone road which effectively serves as almost like a rumble strip. It makes noise, and it's like so it improves the safety, but it also keeps in character of the downtown. So we're going to add 40 feet of cobblestone road in there where the road is narrowed, which will help to slow the traffic even further as they go through there. Drainage improvements. The current drainage system is not adequate to manage stormwater. In fact, the reason why the project is costing so much is a lot of the drainage improvements that we realized after designing it that we'll need to do. So there's significant flooding occurs regularly, making the playground and surrounding areas unsafe and unusable. So we make significant improvements to drainage in the area. And these are other pictures of after a rainstorm of all of the flooding we see down in the area. So the phase 2 improvements, and so the relocation and updating of portions of Shipyard Lane. So you'll see it's not really as much straightening the road out as changing the curve, whereas now you go in this way, you're going to be curving the other way, and it adds a stop sign by the boat launch ramp. So you'll have to stop and take a 90-degree turn left to exit the area. Reconfiguration of the existing parking lots, most significantly by the Little League fields, where you have 2 different lots on different levels where the parking spaces aren't up to code. That will create just 1 parking lot with all of the spaces up to code. Storm drainage improvements, installation of sidewalks to facilitate safer pedestrian movements, installation of a municipal water line and fire hydrant, a river walk along the Weppawag River, 240 parking spaces, which will include 12 accessible spaces and 3 EV charging stations. Actually 4 total, because 1 will be an accessible EV charging station. The approvals received, so the traffic authority, and again, we went back last night for additional traffic authority, the fire marshal, Office of the State Traffic Authority, and the letter I include here was a letter back from the Office of the State Traffic Authority stating that they don't think that the improvements are going to change the amount of traffic in and out of the road. And the reason we had to go to them is if there was any change, we would have had to redesign the intersection at New Haven Avenue. And so they did approve it without making those changes because it was their feeling that it won't significantly or won't change actually at all the amount of traffic going down behind there. The funding of the project right now, it's to be 100% state funded. We have $3.65 million total to date from the state. We do anticipate potentially more, but this amount funds what we've been discussing. And of that, you can see the breakdown: $355,000 for design, construction administration, $2.8 million for the construction contract. They add another $71,000 for parking lot overlay, and then we have $362,000 contingency. So we didn't budget up to the full amount, but again, we do anticipate potentially securing more funding if necessary. So since the original design of the project, we are looking at increasing the height of the fence for more protection from foul balls from the road. So we do have another drawing later on where we'll show you where that will increase. We're going to fence in the area around the Milford Junior Major League field so that if families are in there, the children will be in a fenced-in area. There was concern they may wander towards the road. In addition, based on a suggestion from Alder Ellen Beatty when we presented to the Board of Aldermen, she had said, what about bollards to protect from if a car were to come off the road to have more protection? And so we'll show you in the drawing, we are going to incorporate bollards in there as well. So it'll have the safety feature to prevent cars from getting into that area. Children will be fenced in while they're watching the Junior Major League game. And we're going to add additional signage to the crosswalks. So these were just some renderings. I know it's hard to envision how a project will look just when you're looking at the design. So I tried to colorize some of the design, and these were renderings I had done using my own money to help make it easier for you to see. Again, we aren't going to have whatever weird vegetation that is that I asked the person who did the rendering to take out a number of times, but you can only fight with someone so much. But you will have the walkway with the lawn along the water, which again, it'll make the pavilion, so the pavilion will go out to the water. So when you're doing concerts and events there, right now if you're there with children, that's an active road going right by the pavilion. So now it'll be open out to the water. We don't have benches shown in here, but we're gonna add a number of spots for benches. So once you get to the bottom of Founder's Walk now, it'll be that walkway all along the river, all along the harbor. And this is just an aerial of, again, how you can see the road curves, at the other space. And there will be those crosswalks, marked crosswalks like we see throughout downtown. So it's just some more renderings to give you an idea of how it will look. And these are the drawings. I don't know, Don, if you want to talk to what we're here for tonight.
Sure.
Yeah, one second. Are there any questions for Senator Maroney before we move on?
I have a question. Why were you not provided most of this in advance?
Excuse me?
Why were you not provided most of this in advance?
I emailed this presentation to the city clerk's office last week, or not to the city attorney's office, so I'm not sure why you weren't. They asked for it to be included and I sent it, so.
To answer your question, I didn't even know that there was going to be a presentation like this. This is an 8-24 approval. And 8-24 approvals are just the board approving a lease agreement, a grant being accepted, things of that nature. That's what's going on. It has it's not, you have no say in the project itself, which is being shown this evening. So this is what's going on. So this is unusual for an 8-24 presentation.
So to clarify what that is that if the planning board were to vote against this, the alders would have to have a supermajority to pass it. Otherwise, it's just a majority of each board to move forward on an 8-24.
That's all well and good, but I read statute 8-24. My understanding is that our responsibility under the statute requires our board to make a report on these proposals to the Board of Aldermen. Am I correct in surmising that our yes or no vote will function as that report for the purpose of the statute?
That is correct.
The statute explicitly references our board's planning function, and in one point references the relocation, location, or abandonment of any road. Given that, it appears to me that we are required to opine on the suitability of the project for our city, to include the review of any site plans, approvals, and reports by the city departments and commissions. We were provided with no such reports in advance.
The city engineer, the contractors, the Public Works Department, which sponsor this project, have the experts that have created the plan. That's the best I can tell you, and that's the same for any city project that gets an 8-24 approval. This board doesn't sit in judgment of those projects like you would for something that comes under you for the zoning regulations, because this is a zoning exempt project. So city projects are zoning exempt. So this isn't before you for zoning approval. It's just for, as you just mentioned, those items that are in the statute. The city has experts who have put those things together, and it's the city coming to you saying, hey, we've got this project. Statute requires you to say yes or no. You can say yes, you can say no, but in the end, it's the Board of Aldermen that ultimately makes the decision.
I'm aware that there's zoning exemption, but the statute explicitly references planning, not zoning.
Plans have no teeth without your zoning. So this is an exempt activity from the board. So again, the statute says you can look at it, you can have opinions about it, you can deny it if you'd like. It's not a application that this board would typically see, that you're used to seeing, as you see every time we get together with people. It's a statutory function of the board, and ultimately the decision is made by the Board of Aldermen.
Which brings me to my previous point. We are expected to opine on the matter without really much information beforehand. I think that's an issue here.
I hear that.
Mr. Agnesi, what do you want us to do?
Well, some additional time to consider this information instead of just shooting from the hip.
Seems to me you've made your mind up. I'm prepared to make a motion, and then you can vote on it.
A motion to continue, perhaps?
Motion to approve the Phase 2 capital improvements, which is what he's just presented.
Well, I would actually make a motion that this be brought to public hearing.
We can have duly motions. Can I go first?
Well, you know what, let us hear from the project manager. Let us get some more information for all of our edification, and we'll have an opportunity to ask some questions, and then we can hear a motion either to get more information, and if that passes, whichever one comes first. Let's hear this gentleman out and give us an opportunity to ask the questions that any individual feels are pertinent, and then we'll see what flies. Please say your name and address for the board, and you have the floor.
Thank you. For the record, Donald Smith Jr., a professional engineer with an office at 56 Greenwood Circle in Seymour, and I'm the consulting engineer on the project. We've been working on this project for a little over 2 years now. Been working closely with DPW, city engineer, and the building committee to develop the plans as you see them. My understanding is the 8-24, there's basically 3 components that we're seeking approval for. One is improvements to a public park. Number 2 is discontinuation of a portion of Shipyard Lane and relocating it. And number 3, the granting of an easement to the Regional Water Authority so that they can bring a water service down into the park and provide a fire hydrant down in the park. So Senator Maroney has described generally the overall improvements park-wide, which included reconfiguration of the existing parking lots, replacing and upsizing a storm drainage system that discharges into the Weppawag River, adding water quality improvements to those storm drainage outlets, so we've cleaned up the water going into the river from the parking lots, installation of backflow preventers to stop the Weppawag River from backing up into the site. If the Weppawag River gets higher than the site, we can keep that water out in the river. But the 3 components, and I'm going to be able to see this, no, can't see it. So the first part of this would be the discontinuation of a portion of Shipyard Lane.
Excuse me, can you use a microphone if you're going to stand there?
Sorry about that.
So the portion of Shipyard Lane that's being relocated basically begins here and circles around over to Shipyard Lane, to the intersection here. You'd either go straight into the marina or you'll take a left turn and go up the hill. This area of the former Shipyard Lane will become a river walk. It'll be protected with bollards at both ends to prevent traffic from entering that area. And then the third component is the Regional Water Authority. So from the highway line out at New Haven Ave, the yellow shading represents the amount of the easement being granted to the Regional Water Authority so they can place a fire hydrant about midway on the road. Placement of the fire hydrant was a condition of the Fire Marshal's office as part of the project. In general, so the original project, the project as it stands today, there's a total of 243 parking spaces, which included 233 regular spaces. Under our full build-out, we are going to have 240 parking spaces, 225 of which are regular, and 12 of which are handicap accessible. So we've increased the number of handicap accessible parking spaces and kind of spread them out throughout the campus.
How many parking spaces are there currently?
Currently, there are 243 total.
So the total will remain the same?
We're just under the existing total, about 240.
So there's 243 now, and there'll be 243 at the end of the project?
243 now, 240 at the end.
Oh, three fewer. Okay, thank you. Any questions at this time?
Yeah, you mentioned improvement on the drainage with the fields. Could you expand on that a little?
The drainage is... The improvements of the drainage, there are currently 5 storm drainage outfalls into the Weppawag River. There's one all the way down the south end of the project near the marina. That's a 24-inch pipe. It's a corrugated metal pipe. I don't have to tell you what the salt water does to corrugated metal, so that culvert that outfall is in serious need of improvement. There's a smaller outfall going up Shipyard Lane that will now be eliminated. There's a third outfall that's in good condition, properly sized, that basically takes the field area. That outfall is going to remain. We will be adding a backflow preventer to the pipe though, so it can't overflow up. Outfall number 4 is up here near the footbridge. And if you ever walked across the footbridge at low tide, that's the one you can see blowing out there. That outfall goes up and goes all the way through the park, goes to the bottom of the hill, goes up the hill into Harborside Drive and takes some of those neighborhoods up there. Originally, this was a 15-inch pipe all the way to the outfall, extremely undersized. That's going to be increased to a 30-inch pipe and upsized all the way through the parking lots over to the ball fields. The last outfall is right next to the bridge, takes the library area as well as flow from the pond, and that outfall is going to remain, but the city engineer asked that we remove some of the accumulated sediment that you can see around that outfall. It's about halfway up on the invert, so we're gonna, at low tide, we'll remove all of that sediment from that outfall and open that up, and then put a backflow preventer in there as well.
So you mentioned the baseball fields. I've heard complaints about the fields. This is going to improve the drainage in the fields as well?
we're not touching the drainage in the field, but we're picking it up right at the edge of the field going to the outlet. So we're upsizing the outlet, which should make the fields better.
Right, thank you.
Any further questions? Yep.
Good evening. Wondering if you can address the existing width of, or the width of the existing roadway and contrast that with what's being proposed, because what's being proposed has different widths along the proposed shipyard yard lane. Thank you.
So the existing shipyard lane, where it is along the river, I believe is about a 26-foot wide roadway. The proposed section of shipyard lane where it's a single, there's a portion where it's a split road coming in and coming out, but the majority of it where it's a single road is a 24-foot wide curb to curb. And then there's a 40-foot long section before we get to the corner, before we get to the crosswalk, where those curb lines are going to come in from 24 feet. It's going to neck down to 22 feet for a 40-foot long section. And the intention of that, and the intention of the 24-foot wide road, is to make it feel more tight. Once you feel a little bit more tight in the car, you're going to drive slower because you don't have a lot of room. So by going to a narrower road, people will be forced to slow down, and then that small neck down area will force them to slow down even more. And that's where the senator was talking about. We're going to be putting cobblestone pavement so that it's a rough surface that gives you a rumble effect.
So
Would you point out, please, on that site plan where those two reductions occur?
Yes, and please address what programming activity takes place in those areas.
Okay. Is there, just to work with this map, okay, so the first crosswalk, as you come in from New Haven Ave, there's a crosswalk over here by the library. The first crosswalk in the field area will be right over here. Right before that, right in this area here, is where that neck down area will be from 24 feet down to 22 feet, okay, right in this area here. Sidewalk on one side, no sidewalk on the other side. Just necks down, the fire hydrant is right in that area, and then it opens back up to the full 24 feet going around. It obviously flares out a little bit wider where those parking spaces are.
What about the 40-foot area?
I'm sorry?
What about the 40-foot area?
That's what I said, the 40-foot long area that will have the cobblestone pavement will be right in here.
Thank you.
Good evening. What is the proposed speed limit in this area?
Pardon us?
The proposed speed limit in this area?
20 miles an hour. That's the municipal standard for this classification of road. We asked about dropping the speed limit, and we were told no, it couldn't be lowered.
Who said it couldn't be lowered?
Traffic Authority, Sergeant Craniac.
And on that narrow portion, the two narrower portions, what would the traffic look like if there was a vehicle with a boat trailer going, I guess that would be north-south, going one way and the other way if they're passing? What'll that do to, like, say, a 30-foot boat on the back of an SUV, one going one way and one going the other way?
They should not go out of their lanes. There will be enough room for them to stay in their lane. So they would not, there's not a tight enough radius here on the center line, so they're going to go right around the corner and stay in their lane.
Thank you. Any further questions, Mark?
Hi. I've been to a lot of the public hearings and even before the public hearings with the aldermen to some of the planning meetings. And a lot of the concern obviously is, speed limits don't slow people down, unfortunately. And people are concerned with the speed coming straight from New Haven Avenue, actually picking up speed coming through the area there. And I don't think a lot of people were against the actual project, but they just wanted some maybe countermeasures or even, other options to slow the speed down. And a lot of people have talked about speed humps, speed bumps, speed tables. Why is there such opposition to speed humps, bumps, tables? I don't really, I know a little bit of the difference of them, but can you explain what the reason is, why they can't do those types of things?
Sure, there's two primary reasons. Number one, traffic authority said no speed bumps, no speed humps. That's what they said, no speed bumps, no speed humps. Number two.
Who said that?
Sergeant Craniac.
Okay.
Okay, and then number two, with the speed bumps or the speed humps, the shorter, again, with the vehicles with the trailers, okay, you're going up and now all of a sudden the truck is coming down and you've got a bigger chance of dragging the tongue on the trailer with that with the grade change in such a short distance that you're going up and then back down again, you run the risk of dragging the tongue on the trailer.
It just seems like there could have been some kind of compromise to get the people concerned about safety.
Well, we are adding the cobblestone road now, which is a traffic calming measure, and it's been shown to slow traffic. And I was actually just in
Good.
Providence this weekend.
Anything that would help to slow it down, I think would appease the people who are against the project, is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, no, and you can see, the Traffic Commission initially wouldn't allow for or recommended against doing the speed bumps or speed tables, but Don came up with the idea of the cobblestone road, which we did get approved last night to do 40 feet of cobblestone road, which, again, it's uneven and it's bumpy, so it makes noise when you drive over it and it slows people down. So that is the compromise, that is safety first, but it's also in keeping with the character of downtown Milford to have something looking like that. So we hope that that's a suitable compromise, but it has been shown to slow traffic, and it also will add to the character.
Where's that cobblestone going?
Where's the what?
Where's the cobblestone road actually located?
That's that 40-foot long section.
Okay. Yep.
Before you get to that first crosswalk, okay? That 40-foot long section is like right in here.
So to the lower left corner below the ball field, that open area right there is where little children practice in between games. What steps are being taken to prevent them from, a car veering off that road into them?
Didn't catch all of that. The area where?
We're adding bollards at the recommendation of, when we present it to the Board of Aldermen, so the bollards will protect against a car coming off the road. So the bollards are like a pipe set with cement inside of it, and they can actually withstand a car, so that it would stop a car.
Flip side of that, what's it stop a toddler from wandering into the road? You know what, toddlers tend to wander.
I think you're talking about this grass area here between the
You're
road.
correct.
Okay, there you go. So here's the ball field, here's the corner of the road, here's the first crosswalk. So our proposal is we're going to be increasing the height of the fence once you get past the dugout or even above the dugout. Right now, the 15-foot tall fence stops at the beginning of the dugout. So we're going to raise the fence from the dugout to the back of the shed to 15 feet high with chain link fence. We're looking at a removable section of netting that's approximately 60 feet long. That would be going from there towards the existing gates that get on the field. And the reason that would be a removable netting is because of the Oysterfest stage location. All right, but then this green represents a chain link fence, 4-foot high chain link fence that would be going around that grass area. And then these pink dots here represent the line of bollards that would be behind that fence to protect any vehicles coming.
And the net is proposed, it's not, that needs to be worked out between the Junior Major League and the Oyster Festival, what makes sense in that area. So it's not a final on the net.
Any further questions at this point? Seeing none, I'd hear a motion.
I would make a motion that we open this for public comment in a public hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chair, this is not a matter for public comment. That time is past. We're not here to discuss the merits of this proposal. That's been done in another legislative body.
That's, again, your opinion, and so I guess you'll be voting against the motion. But we do have a motion, we do have a second. We'll discuss it, and then we'll have a vote. So if there's no further discussion.
Yeah. I would just point out that this board has been highly receptive to public comment in the past, including opening up a coastal site plan to public comment. I think if we were to not do this, after having done something like that, it would be fairly inconsistent with how this board has historically operated.
No, I understand, and that's why we are going to, it's open for discussion, and then we'll have a vote. And then each member will weigh it in their own way. Yeah. Any further discussion on the motion?
Yeah, if I could get some clarification of our duty here. We can't, there's no zoning regulation that we can vote up or down on. If we don't like something, we vote no, and it goes back to the Board of Aldermen. I mean, what's the process?
Yeah, the process is that we will have a vote first on this motion, and then if it fails, we'll have a vote on a motion to pass this. And if that fails, there's a heavier burden on the aldermen. They have to have a supermajority to approve it. If we say no, they have a higher bar.
Thank you.
No problem. You done?
Mr. Chair, I just want to be precise. There are 3 matters on it with regards to this project tonight. There's the capital improvement plan, the easement, and a partial discontinuance. When you say it, what do you mean by it? And in which order are we going to be voting?
There will be one vote to have to hold off and get more information and have public comment, and that'll be the first vote. If that vote fails, I will hear a motion to approve the entire package, and that vote will go up or down however it does.
So in other words, the 3 items will be lumped into one motion. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
What will the public comment be about? The project that we don't have, that it's exempt, or about these 3 motions?
I would say that whatever the public decides to talk about. I mean, the motion is to do it. If you are for the motion, then vote for it. If you're not, then vote against it. But the details of what possibly could come up are beyond my capacity to see. Any further discussion? If not, would you please call the roll, sir?
Mr. Agnesi.
With the motion.
Mr. Allen.
With the motion.
Mr. Anderson.
I'm against the motion.
Mr. Hirsch.
Against the motion.
Mr. Collegian.
Against the motion.
Mr. Mortimer,
I am against the motion.
Mr. Sadi,
Against the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis. Chairman Quish,
I'm with the motion.
4 to 6.
The motion fails. I would hear a motion.
Jimmy, if it's all right with you, I think I'd rather just do all three of them one by one. That's what we've always done.
It's just one application though, isn't it?
So,
Okay, up
yeah,
to
I'm
you.
just going to make three motions.
Yeah, you're making the
I
motion.
move as presented, approval pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 8-24 for Phase 2 capital improvements at Founder's Walk.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi,
Against the motion.
Mr. Allen,
With the motion.
Mr. Anderson,
With the motion.
Mr. Hirsch,
With the motion.
Mr. Collegian,
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer,
With the motion.
Mr. Sadi,
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis.
Against the motion.
Chairman Quish,
I'm with the motion.
I move to approve as presented pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 8-24 to grant an easement to Central Connecticut Regional Water Authority.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi,
Against the motion.
Mr. Allen,
With the motion.
Mr. Anderson,
With the motion.
Mr. Hirsch,
With the motion.
Mr. Collegian,
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer,
With the motion.
Mr. Sadi,
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis.
Against the motion.
Chairman Quish,
I'm with the motion.
And with respect to Shipyard Lane, I move to approve as presented pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 8-24 to grant a partial discontinuance of Shipyard Lane.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi,
Against the motion.
Mr. Allen,
With the motion.
Mr. Anderson,
With the motion.
Mr. Hirsch,
With the motion.
Mr. Collegian,
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer,
With the motion.
Mr. Sadi,
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis.
Against.
Chairman Quish,
I'm against the motion. All three motions pass.
Thank you very much.
Next order of business is, I'll let the crowd disperse and let us move on. Next order of business is Regulation Amendment 2410, petition of Thomas Lynch Esquire for a change to Article 3, Section 323-1, to add warehouse facility with caretaker residence as a special use in Zone CBDD. Applicant has the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, for the record, my name is Thomas Lynch, and I'm an attorney with the law firm Lynch, Trimbicki, and Boynton, and my office is located here in Milford at 63 Cherry Street. And I have the pleasure of being here tonight with my client, Mark Pusey. Mark is the owner of Discount Fence here in Milford. It's a long-standing Milford business, operated for many, many years. He's also the manager of Cascade Milford LLC, which is the owner of this property located at 214 Cascade Boulevard. It was formerly known as 0 Cascade Boulevard on the assessor's records before this application was put together. So this is an application to add to amend section 323.1 to allow another special use in that zone, the Cascade Boulevard Design District. So just a little bit of background. Mark purchased this property last year. He operates his business at Discount Fence at a facility next to the railroad underpass on Gulf Street. He also has another building on Buckingham Avenue. So the opportunity came for him to purchase this property. So the desire and the intent is to build a new warehouse facility on this site to consolidate all of his operation in this, this one site. The property is located in the Cascade Boulevard Design District. And for those of us been around for a few years, that district was put together in the late 1990s when Ceruzzi Properties purchased the property on the Post Road where Walmart is now and Barnes & Noble. Located on that site was the Ryder Trailer Park. So what happened back in, I think it was 1993, Ceruzzi Properties bought that property, and part of the deal was he was going to buy another parcel of land in Milford to relocate the Ryder Trailer Park to another site. This property to the south of the subject property, basically the rest of the land in the CBDD zone is shown on the graphic that David has on the screen now. Our property is at the top, right at the curve where Cascade Boulevard comes down off of Marsh Hill Road and Oxford Road. It curves right at our site and then continues into Ryder Woods, which is now known as Ryder Woods. That's the parcel where the trailer or the mobile home park was relocated. So it's that large area just to the south of our site. So the Cascade Boulevard Design District was designed to move the Ryder Trailer Park there. It has a provision that the site has to be at least 10 acres in size, and there really are only two uses noted as special uses. There's no outright permitted uses in the zone. The special uses currently are for single-family detached dwellings or a boarding house, or dwellings placed on 3,000 square foot parcels, which was designed specifically to address the relocation of the mobile home. So what we've done here, and I had the discussion with David, instead of seeking a zone change application to industrial, because the entire rest of Cascade Boulevard, if you've driven down there, all the way from Marsh Hill Road down to this site, on the right-hand side of the road, that entire stretch is industrial. So instead of filing for an application to change the zone classification to this parcel to industrial, that would sort of open up a can of worms where someone could then later put any sort of an industrial use on the site that may be onerous to the adjacent residential site where Ryder Trailer Park is and where the apartments are at 117 Cascade Boulevard. If you've driven down there, the other building just before the curve is an 830G project that I appeared before this board back in 2015 for Garden Homes Management. And that was allowed under 830G because of the fact that it wasn't industrial, and that is one area where you can't have 830G projects. So what we've done is we've drafted language to just add a user-specific special use. The application before you tonight is to add a third special use that will allow a 7,000, no more than a 7,500 square foot gross area warehouse facility. The proposal that we have, if this regulation change is granted, we'll be coming back to you next month with an application for a special permit, and Ron Wasmer will go through the elements of the site plan. But the proposal is to have a 7,000 square foot warehouse facility with a caretaker residence. And the reason that my client wanted to have that is to keep the residential component, which this zone currently allows for. So it's sort of a hybrid. It's going to have a residence on it, and it's going to have the warehouse facility. So I submit to you that, again, with the close proximity to the industrial area across the street, the entire stretch of Cascade is industrial. This would be a permitted use in an industrial zone. I'd ask that you allow the regulation to be amended so that we can add this one additional use. And again, I stress the point that it's specific to Mark's proposal that we'll be coming into you with. Other than that, the plans have been submitted. David has the full site plan that we submitted the application for the special permit already. The plans were reviewed by the city engineer already. We appeared before the Inland Wetlands Agency, who issued a approval on this project. So this is the last step in the whole process. So
Will the residence be attached to the warehouse, or will it be?
No, it's going to be separate. It's going to be like a separate house, but it's going to be a caretaker's. In other words, one of Mark's employees will be living there.
Right. And approximate size? I don't need it to be specific.
I think it's about 1,500 square feet.
Thank you.
The warehouse was 7,250, and the residence is about 1,500 square feet.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant at this time? Yep, good.
Yeah, two questions. One is, has there been any outreach to the neighbors? You're right in the middle of kind of a residential area. I'm just curious if there's been any discussion with the neighbors there.
No, but again, Joe, when we present that's why I brought the GPS with us tonight. There is a extremely large buffer area because of the wetlands between where the warehouse facility is going to go and the Ryder Woods homes. So it's a very large buffer between the two.
What kind of traffic would you expect coming out of here?
Very minimal. Mark has probably 20 employees. About 20 employees. So in the morning, they load up their trucks and go to job sites. It'll be minimal. And again, it'll be conducive to the area because it is an industrial area.
Okay, I noticed because I looked into the design district regulations, it says no trucking terminal facilities for handling freight or material where they're without maintenance facility shall be permitted. That's one of the prohibited uses.
Right, and this is not a trucking facility.
Yeah.
A trucking facility would be ABF Freight or something, a FedEx distribution center. That would be a trucking facility.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to David, please. Do we have a definition in anywhere else in our regulations on a caretaker facility? I don't recall seeing that.
Off the top of my head, I don't recall. I can take a quick look if you want.
Okay.
I know of one. I know of one because this came up in the, David, is it the CDD 3 zone that comes in Bridgeport Avenue? So I had a client who had purchased the car wash. Now he's not in his head, he remembers. I had a client about 5 or 6 years ago who was going to purchase the car wash, and I believe that zone provides for a caretaker's residence, and on that site there's a building in the back with an apartment above, and that was the caretaker's residence. So I think in the CDD.
Yeah, my understanding of the question was, do we have an actual definition?
We don't have a natural definition, but we do have.
I know we have
other references to it in the zones.
Yeah, that we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you. This question goes back to you then, Attorney Lynch. Do you have an idea approximately how many other parcels of property in this district might be affected by this zone change?
This is the last piece of property that's undeveloped in that district.
Okay, but there could be other developed parts of that district that could meet this change?
No. Right now, and I know this from handling the 830G project, that property, this property, and then the Ryder Woods mobile home park, those are the 3 parcels in this zone.
Okay.
Everything on the other side of the street is industrial.
Again, just as far as us trying to craft regulations as what we're going to be doing here, should we not have a definition of caretaker put in there with a specific size? Or do you think it doesn't make a difference because it's this one piece of property parcel that you talk about?
Mr. Chair, we do have a definition of caretaker.
Could you share that with us, please?
Sure. One who is employed to maintain, repair, or protect a facility or property.
Right. So that's why I said this is only going to be occupied by one of Mark's employees.
And so, David, there's no other description of the size or shape or manner of the dwelling?
No.
Okay.
So I guess we go back to where I was trying to follow up, and I thank the help of the other members of the board and David. Could this be a multifamily building at some point? I mean, we're changing the district. We're changing this regulation. Could somebody come in and say, we want to put a 3-family in here?
I think when I come, hopefully you'll vote to amend this regulation. When I come back to you on May 6th, I'm going to have an application for a special permit, and I think you can make a condition of that approval that that house be occupied only by an employee and can be only a single-family residence. You can make that a condition of the special permit approval.
And we could make it a condition of this application as well, to make it a caretaker's single-family dwelling.
I think the regulation would have to be reworded unless that's something that...
Has this been circulated, David?
Yes.
Yes.
And so do you think that adding the language that it's a single-family, would that be so far afield that we would need to recirculate it?
No, but if it helps at all, when we see a caretaker's residence, we have always, on the land use side of things, assumed that it was one unit. And actually, when these regulations were created, the thinking was, for, large factory complexes and things where you would have like a night watchman that would, live there or stay over. So it was always thought of as one, but it's up to you.
So if the language is in the singular, then it's not in the plural. So therefore, we can make that language clarification that that's what it means.
Yeah, you can.
And our record is that that's our intent.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Regardless, Mr. Chair, my client has no...
True, but then that
He
could
has
be...
no objections or whatever.
Yeah, it could be sold, and so down the road,
I get it.
this
Yep.
is in perpetuity.
Yep.
So does that make you feel better, Mr. Sadie?
Oh, I was feeling fine before, so I don't need to feel better.
Any further questions or comments before we open it up to the public?
You mentioned there's 20 employees. How many trucks would normally be used? I mean, we're talking pickup trucks, I'm assuming. That you said they're smaller trucks.
Right, he has 6 box trucks.
6 box trucks.
A combination of box trucks and vans.
Okay, thank you.
This is a public hearing. If anybody from the public would like to come up and speak to this issue, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to keep your comments to about 3 minutes.
I'll try. Teresa Eek. I live at 47 Point Beach Drive. And I guess I really have just a couple questions. One is, it's already so difficult and you all are working so hard to try and develop housing that's actually attainable for working people, that removing a parcel that could possibly be used for that seems like not a good idea. And maybe not having talked to the neighbors, also not a great idea. And I know that you've really been making a concerted effort not to do spot zoning, which is kind of what this sounds like. I don't know enough about planning and zoning, but it sounds like spot zoning to me. So those are sort of my questions and putting it out there. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from the board? From the public?
Hi, Sarah Bromley, 27 Norway Street. I don't know how many people have been to Ryder Woods recently. I have a friend who lives there, and it was like the best kept secret in Milford. I didn't even know it existed till I went to visit her, and I thought it was just lovely. I looked up some of the prices on some of the units there, some of the most affordable, and I'm just wondering, again, I don't know what you all do. I don't know. I know it's so complex, but I'm like, this parcel of land, it just makes me wonder, is there no other space? Are there no other empty spaces that could be restructured to use for warehouses. And why can't some of this land be used to extend Ryder Woods? It's so affordable, and I would encourage you to like go. I'll go talk to the people with you, and see what they think about it. And I think it really could change a lot of minds just to go see those units for yourselves. They're very nice, and a lot of them are large enough to have two people live in them and share in them. So like a lot of people could be housed, and the people who manage it are terrific. They seem pretty terrific. But just saying, thanks.
Thank you. Any further comments from the public?
Good evening. Anthony Giannatasio, 58 Rosebrook Road, Milford. I would ask you to consider this potential amendment to this zone. I think that this is a small business owner here in Milford who started a business on Gulf Street, and you probably drive by it every day, and you can see how compact it is right near the railroad trestle. He's upgraded that building. He's also purchased the building near Fratelli's that is on the triangular, and he's upgraded that building as well. And as you can see, he's growing his business. And anytime the city has an opportunity to help a small business grow in an industrial area where Athletic Brewing is, Beat Industries, to build a 7,500 square foot warehouse space, which there is a shortage of warehouse space with clear span, ability to store things. And if you're concerned about trucks and traffic, you can see he operates out of Gulf Street already, which does not really impact the area, and he's right next to literally a residential zone. I think this is a good thing. I think this is something that we should work towards helping someone who has a business who wants to expand and stay in Milford and build a building that's going to generate tax revenue. I think there's a lot of people that come to Milford to open a business because Milford has value, and it's up right near the 95 corridor, so his trucks don't have to drive through neighborhoods. They could jump on I-95, go north, south, and it's already, the majority of the street, if you drive down there, is industrial. So I think it is a hybrid, and I would welcome something like this type of zone change or amendment to this zone. I think it's in line in what we want to do as far as retaining business here in Milford in the city and help our small businesses grow. And I would ask for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from the public? The applicant has a right to rebut.
Thank you. The only comment that I wanted to make was to address the woman's reference to spot zoning, because that's specifically what David and I spoke about before coming here with this plan. We didn't want to make a application to change the zone to conform with what was across the street, because that could be construed to be spot zoning. So that this amendment that I drafted, I think addresses that. It allows this particular use, which is not going to be onerous. It's not going to be a machine shop or some other use that would be allowed in the industrial zone. And as I had stated earlier as well, there is a very large buffer between this site and the Ryder Woods mobile home park. So I think that anyone over in Ryder Woods is not going to be affected by this. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Our protocol is that the public has a right to speak up again if they would like to address just what was rebutted by Attorney Lynch. Seeing none, I would ask the board if they have any questions, comments. I have a comment. I think that I think this is a good project, and I think that it is to the betterment of Milford. As you know, I'm a big proponent of more housing and affordable housing and housing options. And we are going through each of the zones in Milford, the commercial zones, commercial districts, and we are going to propose ways to incentivize developers to create more housing. And, you know, it's a hard thing to say, but if people really are passionate about a certain type of development, then they really need to just go and put a cartel together and get some money and buy the land and do it. So this is, it's a hard truth to face, that you can't just want it, you have to actually do it. But we are, as a group, going through zone by zone and trying to offer developers a carrot to do development. So this is not what's in front of us right now. I just wanted to share that with the public, but I think this is a good change, and I would hear a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Quish. I move to approve with the following conditions: the petition of Thomas Lynch Esquire for a change to Article 5, to Article 3, Section 323.1, to add warehouse facility with caretaker residence of special use in Zone CBDD. Now, the modification is the following. 3.23.14 shall state a warehouse facility with, and here's the modification, a single-family caretaker residence on lot with minimum gross site area 1.0 acre, warehouse not to exceed 7,500 square feet of floor area. That is the change, and the change I'm making is the term single-family caretaker residence. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
can you just also add to the end of the motion that this would become effective May 2nd?
I have no problem with doing so. Thank you for pointing that out to me.
Second. Okay, second. Okay, we have a motion and a second adjusted with a date. Without any other discussion, please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi,
With the motion.
Mr. Allen,
Against the motion.
Mr. Anderson,
With the motion.
Mr. Hirsch,
Against the motion.
Mr. Collegian,
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer,
I am against the motion.
Mr. Sadi,
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis,
With the motion.
Chairman Quish.
I'm with the motion.
The motion passes.
Thank you. Next order of business is old business. We do have a recommendation for a zone change in CDD2 circulating. Is that correct?
It is, and it will be on your schedule for, I believe, the next meeting.
Okay. Would anybody like to comment on that before next meeting's public hearing? Seeing none, we'll move past it to liaison reports.
Mr. Quish, I missed that. Can you
I'm
repeat
sorry.
that? I'm sorry.
Oh, you were talking. I'm sorry. I'm just being glib there, Eton. I'm sorry. What I said was I asked if anybody wanted to discuss CDD2 tonight. It will be on the public hearing at our next meeting.
I think we've already kicked it around, haven't we?
I think we have for a year.
Yeah, we've been kicking around. I don't know what else we're going to be able to add to the discussion
I just asked the
tonight.
question. I wasn't promoting it. Okay, so seeing none.
Hang on. Did we vote to distribute it?
We did.
When we took that vote, my understanding was that was not for distribution.
David, if you would clarify.
By the end of the meeting, when it was decided that the board was going to do something with it, it was my understanding that it would be distributed, and it was.
I was not at that meeting, so
The board went, there was a discussion back and forth about what its status would be, and in the end, my understanding at the end of the meeting was that it was to be distributed.
That was not my understanding.
do we We had a vote. Do we have a record of the vote?
I can go and look. Should be in the minutes, so let me go back to that meeting and pull out the minutes.
So there was no motion and no vote?
I'm still reading the minutes. I don't know if Sue's reading the minutes there. Yeah. Mr. Sadi asked Mr. Saltz if we could create the proposed regulations, send it to each board member. Mr. Sadi would do that prior to circulation. He said then that at the April 15th meeting, the board can vote on the circulation. Mr. Sadi thanked the public for attending the advice. So there was no vote based on what the minutes said.
Okay, so then I would hear a motion. If we vote in favor of circulation, we would have jumped the gun, but it still will be effectively the same language.
I'm going to make a motion to vote for circulation.
Is that a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on the motion. I'd like to say that, I apologize for this, I wasn't here, but if it's obviously it's been circulated, we can put it on the next meeting. If after public comment and after our own discussions, if we feel that the language in the change is not what we want, we still have another bite at the apple. If it's de minimis, we can change the language. If it is more than de minimis, we can vote to recirculate it if the language is far enough afield from what we do. So I still think you have a chance to hear the public, hear your own feelings out, and we can change the language if we feel that it's not, if the heights are too high or whatever it is, we still have another bite at the apple, and it's two-pronged. If it's de minimis, we just go with the circulation. If we all agree that there's a major change that we want to make, we can recirculate and have another public hearing. Is that okay?
My only concern is I'm not 100% sure what the finalized language is that we are voting on at this point to circulate.
The board spent its entire time on this at the last meeting, going through the regulation line by line. I can send you what we circulated, which was.
But you have it here.
Yeah, I have it here. I mean, we can go through it line by line again.
Yeah, let's put up the language.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
We're repeating ourselves here.
I'm trying to accommodate every member of the board, Eton. Please give me a little leeway here.
Okay, here's the proposed text. The first change was under 317.1.1A, housing set-aside density bonus. The board's language was existing single and two-family dwellings can be converted to have a maximum of 3 units within the existing structure in accordance with the building code, meeting the following conditions. Parking for the additional units can be provided in accordance with section 5.1. The maximum number of units can be no more than 3 per lot. Tandem parking to accommodate new units is prohibited. So that was the first change. The next change was under 317.1.9, striking out some existing language. I can read to you this. It's struck in the language that was struck, or not, or do you want just the new language?
I think we understand that.
Okay.
So,
and then the new language, 317.1.10, mixed use and/or multifamily residential buildings meeting the following conditions. For new construction of multifamily residential buildings, a minimum 5,000 square foot lot, front yard minimum of 0 feet, side yard minimum of 0 or 10 feet, building coverage not to exceed 60%, building height not to exceed 40 feet in height, accessory building setback 4 feet from both side and rear lot lines, front yard setback the same as principal building. G, parking in accordance with section 5 to be located either under or behind the principal building, no parking in the front yard. H, architectural standards, section 516 shall apply to the permitted use. I, 100 square foot of outdoor area multiplied by the number of units shall be provided for the usable open space with landscaping. This outdoor area shall not be located in the front yard. This area is exclusive of any required buffers, setbacks, sidewalks, or parking areas. J, no residential uses are to be located on the first floor, ground level, or street level if the building is on Bridgeport Avenue. I, housing set-aside density bonus for new construction of mixed-use and/or multifamily residential. A development that provides affordable housing is defined by Connecticut General Statutes 8-30G in the amount of a minimum of 15% of the proposed uses at 60% and 80% of the area median income in a 50-50 split shall be given the additional incentives. 1, maximum building height of 50 feet. 2, maximum building coverage of 80%. All other standards of subsection 1 remain in effect. Subsection 2, expansion of existing commercial buildings to add residential use on Bridgeport Avenue. For existing non-conforming buildings, only vertical expansion and an increase in height is permitted to add dwelling units. Buildings that can meet all of the current lot and building requirements of section 3.17.4 can also expand horizontally. A, minimum lot size, existing. B, front, rear, and side setbacks, existing. C, building height, not to exceed 40 feet in height. D, no residential uses are to be located on the first floor, ground level, or street level if located on Bridgeport Avenue. E, parking to be provided for the added residential units in accordance with section 5.1. I, the housing set-aside density bonus for existing commercial buildings on Bridgeport Avenue. A development that provides affordable housing is defined by Connecticut General Statutes 8-30G in the amount of a minimum of 15% of the proposed units at 60 and 80% of the area median income in a 50-50 split shall be given the additional incentives. 1, maximum building height of 55 feet. 2, maximum building coverage existing. 3, parking to be provided for additional residential units in accordance with Section 5.1. All other standards of subsection 2 remain in effect. 3, conversion of existing commercial buildings to all residential for buildings not located on Bridgeport Avenue. Existing commercial buildings can be converted and expanded both vertically and horizontally in accordance with the following standards. A, residential uses can be located on the first floor, ground level, or street level. B, minimum 5,000 square foot lot. C, front yard minimum 0 feet. D, side yard minimum 0 or 10 feet. E, rear yard minimum 10 feet. F, building coverage not to exceed 60%. G, building height not to exceed 40 feet in height. H, accessory building setback 4 feet from both side and rear lot line. Front yard setback the same as a principal building. I, parking in accordance with Section 5 to be located either under or behind the principal use. No parking in the front yard. J, architectural standards of Section 516 shall apply to this permitted use. K, 100 square feet of outdoor area multiplied by the number of units shall be provided for usable open space with landscaping. This outdoor area shall not be located in a front yard. This area is exclusive of any required buffers, setbacks, sidewalks, or parking areas. I, housing set aside density bonus for conversion of existing commercial buildings not located on Bridgeport Avenue. A development that provides affordable housing as defined by Connecticut General Statutes 8-30G in the amount of a minimum of 15% of the proposed units at 60 and 80% of the area median income in a 50-50 split shall be given the additional incentives. 1, maximum building height of 55 feet. 2, maximum building coverage of 80%.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's more if you want, but.
Oh, okay. I thought, obviously.
That's the main, that was the main changes.
Yeah.
That we tweaked a few other little things, but that's the main housing generation portion.
So that's what we've been working on for the last year, and this is what we've come up with. So that was circulated, and we'll all get another bite at the apple at our next meeting.
So shall we vote on circulation then?
I would like to do that, yes.
I make a motion to circulate this changes as described by Mr. Sulkis.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Agnesi?
Given the procedural issues previously voiced by Mr. Macchio, I will be voting against the motion.
Mr. Allen?
With the motion.
Mr. Anderson?
I'm with the motion.
Mr. Hirsch?
With the motion.
Mr. Collegian?
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer?
I'm with the motion.
Mr. Sadi?
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis?
With the motion.
Chairman Quish?
I'm also with the motion. Thank you all for your patience with me. Liaison report.
Nothing. I started the meeting last Thursday, and I had an emergency call I had to take away, so I was only there for.
The reports, we will, once we have CDD 2 completed, we will go to CDD 3 and do a deep dive on that to find a way to add housing and add affordable, accessible housing in the mix. Next order of business is approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair,
Motion? Yep.
I humbly suggest that we pass this item because minutes are unavailable on the updated website.
Okay, so we will.
If I can for a minute. Brian Anderson, I actually found them, so if I found them, they're here. They're hard to find, believe me. But
We can wait.
I don't disagree.
We can wait. So if we would, in lieu of having everybody find them, if we could send them via email to everybody. So we'll have those sent to everybody's email. And then chair's report, I have none but gratitude for your patience. Staff report.
As you have discovered, the city has upgraded our website, and We have some growing pains, and hopefully those will be ironed out, by the next meeting, so everyone can find what they're looking for.
Thank you. Without objection, we are adjourned.